to the City podcast.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back another edition of Keys to the City with the trio. I'm Trevor Keys alongside the big brother Ted Keys and the Joseph Aguirre here. We're talking about some New York Yankees baseball. We are done with the All-Star break, and now it is go time for the boys of summer. And there's a little, as Yankee fans right now, it's kind of a interesting time right now. We're coming off of a historical season right now, but we just went against that kryptonite that we like to call the Houston Astros. And guys, you know, as I've been pretty much not the biggest fan of Aaron Boone over his tenure as a New York Yankee. But last night, after the 2-game sweep in Houston, he had some interesting comments, and it actually made me, well, maybe a little more of a believer in Aaron Boone. Here it is.
Given the history that you have against the Astros, you know, they've won 5 of 7. Yeah. The 2 wins you had are walk-off wins. They've been in control of most of these games. How do you get past that part and you know, change the narrative here?
Look, the narrative's not going to change, Dan, until you beat them in the playoffs, if that day comes. I mean, we beat them 4 out of 6 last year, and they didn't hold leads. Where'd that get us? I understand it's a big story. I understand the season we're in. It's not going to matter unless October. So we're going to, if we happen to come back here in October, we're going to show up. We're going to expect to win. We think we're really good. They're really good. Don't overstate this.
I mean, you listen to that 48-second clip, and you could see that he's getting a little tiresome with it because it's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason why this team has been called the kryptonite alongside maybe the Boston Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays over the past couple of years. And I have an interesting stat. Since 2015, I went all the way back to 2015. If you do remember when they got shut out in the wild card game to those same Houston Astros. If you remember the pitcher, I think it was Severino versus Dallas Keuchel. They lost 3-0. They got shut out. But since that game, including also postseason, Joe, they're 25-29. That's the New York Yankees record since 2015 against the Houston Astros. Against probably most of the league, probably have a winning percentage against majority of the league. But when you see this Houston Astros team, and we've seen over the couple of years, my thing is, I don't care, and Boone just said it perfectly, 100%. I don't care about the regular season as a New York Yankee fan. If I'm a Pittsburgh Pirate fan or a Kansas City Royal, Detroit Tiger, Chicago Cub, yeah, I care about getting to the postseason. But as a New York Yankee fan, I care about postseason play and see what they are. And for the past couple of years, the New York Yankees have struggled mightily against this Houston Astros team. Ted, I said the Yankees' record since 2015 against the Houston Astros, including postseason, is 25-29. So when I see that, and you see these 2 games, especially this year, guys, they've had 7 games. The Astros lead the record 5-2. And if it wasn't for Aaron Judge's walk-off 3-run home run and another walk-off, the New York Yankees would be probably down 7. They probably would have lost all 7 games. They've never had the lead in the all 7 games, guys. So my big question is, and the Yankees have a lot of huge questions to decide before the April 12th or 15th MLB, August 2nd trade deadline. They have some decisions to make, whether it's to sign Aaron Judge long-term, go get Juan Soto, or go get Luis Castillo. So Joe or Ted, whoever wants to take go ahead. What is the Yankees' top priority moving forward, especially coming out of the All-Star break and losing the way to the Astros? They didn't look good. They didn't look impressive, guys. And that's the scary thing moving forward. So to you, what is the top priority moving forward for the New York Yankees? Joe.
It's not Juan Soto. Okay. That can't be their top priority. That would be a wonderful get. But I definitely think a Luis Castillo. I've never been a Benintendi guy, but somebody like that, because Joey Gallo's got to go. It's very obvious. Dude, like much like with Eli Manning, I'm like try to stick with the guy. It's at the point though where it's hard to defend him being in the lineup any day of the week. It really is. So you need. And here's the thing about Miguel Andujar. Everybody's like, just play Andujar. He's terrible defensively. He can't be out in left field. It's unfortunate. Now, if you can get Juan Soto, and Teddy, I was saying this to Trev before we went live. What's Jason Dominguez's ceiling? It's to be Juan Soto, right? To be that caliber of player. Why not trade that potential for the actual thing?
Yeah.
I just think that makes way more sense. I mean, I'm willing to throw Gleyber Torres into this trade because that's another man like Andujar, a man with no defense and no position, and he's blocking the Yankees from having a Gold Glove winner at second base where he should be.
But he hits. But he's been down. But he hits well. He's one of our.
Yeah, but
better
would you rather have a guy like Juan Soto or
Okay, so
if you had to package it?
I'm caught in the mindset of a Yankee fan, right? So the mindset is, you go get Juan Soto. That's the real Yankee fan. Go get Juan Soto. We go get the crown jewel. We don't settle for second place. We don't let someone else steal our thunder. We have allowed that in the last couple of years because that's not the Yankees motto. The Yankees motto is, listen, we build within, we're going to win within, and it hasn't got us nowhere. The old thing, I remember when I kind of walked on, you guys were having your pre-show and you're talking about the Steinbrenner thing, right? And the old George thing was, we don't wait for, because if you watch, I don't know, you guys, have you both seen the 1 and 2 shows of the Captain?
I have not. I've only seen episode 1. I got to catch up.
Okay, so I watched episode 2. And Joe, have you seen both of them or one or either? Okay,
No.
So your old thing of the sticklers, the thing that happened with the Yankees to be great was George got in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's maybe
Gene
what
came in.
He's up, because if not so, you watched some of the stuff last night, you see that in 96, 95, 96, that they were ready to trade Mariano to Seattle for, I don't even know who his name is. I can't remember. That's why he's not that important for a shortstop, because they did not have confidence in Derek Jeter. Imagine that, Mariano Rivera for the Seattle Mariners. Oof. Mm-hmm. And then there's no Derek Jeter, right? Because if Tony Fernandez doesn't break his arm, maybe there's no Derek Jeter in 96, right? And the Steinbrenner way is, we don't wait for tomorrow, we go get it now, right? And we as Yankee fans we go get it now. Stop playing games. We're Steinbrenners, we're Yankees. I don't want to hear about your money now.
Yes.
But I totally agree, and I think Trevor would agree with Joe's statement is, Juan Soto doesn't correct or erase any of the mistakes the Yankees, right? He only adds to it, but in doing so, you're going to lose a significant part of your pie of what made you successful this season, because you are going to lose a guy like Gleyber. You are probably going to lose a guy like Nestor Cortez, because the trade that I saw I said you guys on MLB.com was Gleyber, Nestor Cortez, Volpe, Dominguez, and another pitcher. Now, all I know about you is
for Corbin and Soto.
No, it was no Corbin. It was plain Soto. The Yankees are not taking on Corbin $60 million. It was a plain Soto deal. The thing with that is, where does he fit in the outfield? You still got to get Carpenter in there. You still have to get Gallo and Stan. So someone is in trouble in that situation, all right? And we know.
Yeah, his name is Gallo, and he just that's it. You DFA him, and that problem solved.
But now, Joe, now with that though, is we lose a pitcher in Nestor Cortez. Now, say what you want, that he hasn't been especially as he has been, but he's still been a significant key to this thing. We got pitchers on this team. Severino has pitched 40 innings in the last 3 years. He hasn't gone for 100 innings. Taillon's last year.
We don't know what he's going to be like in the postseason.
Nestor Cortez has never pitched as many innings. We're going into the playoff series with only one confident guy. You could tell me all the numbers with Jason Montgomery and Taillon and Nestor Cortez and Severino, but all those guys have question marks because they've never – their arms are not stretch run guys. There's no David Cohns. There's no El Duques. There's not the guy that – there's no CCs. There's not a guy that you like, all right, I'm going to have confidence, because these guys have not put – if you've never – we talk about this in football time. First playoff game. Are you ready for the big time? And they've never pitched the innings, and that's something that's – unlike any other sport, has a key contributor role to the Yankees, because we saw that with Matt Harvey is, do you let a guy, when you're going for the World Series, over pitch innings knowing that it could cost him down the road?
Joe, let me get in on this, because we were just talking about this, and Ted said it best, with the all-in approach. And everybody wants to say, well, we want to keep our homegrown talent. And you know where I'm going with this, because we just talked about this before Ted even came on. The homegrown talent, right? The New York Yankees. This great. What about the guys like, I don't know, Jobber Chamberlain, Phil Hughes, Estevan Florio, Devi Garcia, Gary Sanchez, Gleyber Torres, all this great young talent that we've been hearing for years. Jabba Chamberlain's going to be the next savior for the New York Yankees. Phil Hughes. Where the hell did it all pay off? This is a team, and I just said it, 12 years. We're going on over a decade now that the New York Yankees have not won a World Series. And it's kind of like the Dallas Cowboys of the NFL. They haven't won anything either in over 25 years. The New York Yankees haven't won. And this is a team that wins championships, the most championships in all of sports history. I don't want to hear about this homegrown talent that we still don't manage properly. And I know we're all in agreement. They don't manage it properly because Estevan Florio is still down in AAA. Devi Garcia is nowhere to be found. Jabba Chamberlain's still fighting the bees in Cleveland.
Yeah, Devi Garcia
and
best year 2 years ago.
And Phil Hughes and Ian Kennedy might have been the two best pitchers of that time. But in the sense, they still got traded. They never ever got to the potential that they were expected.
Well, their best years were not with the Yankees.
Exactly. The only guy that has ever delivered for the Yankees that's been that homegrown talent recently is the guy that they may actually let walk away this year, Aaron Judge.
No, it's Gleyber.
The best guy, the best guy out of all the
I'm
young.
Not counting Judge. The guys you're talking about with Dominguez and Gleyber.
I'm not talking about that. First of all, Gleyber didn't even come from the Yankees. He came from the Cubs. He came from the Cubs in the Chapman trade.
Okay, but it's not total homegrown. But he's a guy that's come up a young guy that they've actually done well with.
But my point is that all this great young talent that we always say we want to build them up, we don't ever manage them right. Because they're either getting traded down the road or they always have meltdowns. So, Joe, when you have a guy that has delivered in the postseason, has delivered in the World Series, and is a superstar, I mean, can I just give you some of his stats this year? All right.
Jeff, here you go. You get him for a free rental for 2 years. That's the one thing, Joe, that is different than any other trade.
I'm going to give you a quick stat.
About at the trade deadline where, guys are like always, they go for like the Astros, you go for Greinke or somebody. If you know you have that control under him with a year contract, that's what makes it here's the thing. You don't have to pay Soto for the next 2 years, right? So you can hold on to him for 2 years. You can hold on for 1 year. And if you want to flip him next year, because here's the thing. He is the only fallback best answer for the Yankees. God forbid Judge doesn't resign. That's
let me say this. I know he has a 250 batting average right now. I'm going to give you a mind-boggling stat right now of Juan Soto's season. He has 78 hits right now. He has 79 walks. The next closest guy is Max Muncy at 55 walks. He gets walked more than he gets average. That gets a chance to hit.
Yeah, because there's no one on his team to protect him.
And that's the point. But when you're
walk him on the Yankees.
But when you're yeah, of course, obviously. But when you're that damn good of a baseball player and you're 23 and you have him under contract, it doesn't impact the whole Judge thing either because you have him under contract. You could still sign Judge and keep Soto. But also, when you see a guy like that that's available and you want to stand back and stand pat with the team you have, okay, that's fine. But what about the Houston Astros, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the New York Mets, the teams that are trying to win a championship, the Boston Red Sox, the Toronto Blue Jays, just a handful of teams that are the San Diego Padres. These are all teams that are trying to win championships, guys. The New York Yankees cannot stand pat and have all this luxury tax. They can't be doing this. And they also, and another big part of this, Brian Cashman needs to win. He faces a lot of pressure. There's not one team more in the MLB currently, other than maybe the LA Dodgers, but they still got that one title that needs to win a title more than anything. And with the way the Yankees have been playing this year, guys, performing so far in the first half, the New York Yankees have to do that. The New York Yankees have to win a World Series. If they don't, it will just be another prime example of another epic failure, Joe.
These numbers below: 308, 384, 521, 10 homers, 29 RBI, 40 runs scored, 26 stolen bases. You would think. No, that's what Estevan Florial's doing at AAA Wilton, Scranton Wilkes-Barre.
I know, he's killing it. He's killing it, bro.
We've been waiting for this guy.
Joe, we've been hearing him for 5 years, Joe, since we started this show.
Yeah, 5 years. He's finally delivering. He's doing it at AAA. And this is what I said too, Teddy, just before you actually jumped on with us. Why wouldn't you give this kid 30 days? Let him start every day for a month. Who knows? Maybe he takes off. Maybe you find out. Because he's
Ricky
not going to do any
O'Day,
worse than
Chad
Joey
Curtis,
Gallo.
Shane Spencer. I mean, guys that the old Yankees used to call up, and then they hit it hot, and they went off running, and then they made a, they had
They deliver for the Yankees.
Listen, I know we
Lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, and here's the problem. This lineup is really good. We know that's really good. But as we know, and it's not an excuse, we hit the home run ball. When we don't hit the home run ball, we don't win. Though the Astros are second in the major leagues with home runs too, so they hit the
That's
home
what I'm saying. The way the Yankees have been playing so great this year, guys, the Houston Astros have been just as great too.
So Joe, I was talking to Trev quick on the morning. I go about the Soto thing, and I go, I don't know if I do the Soto thing because you're really going to give up a lot. You're going to give up a lot, and I think you're going to give up at least one or two players that are on the current roster that have got you here. And now, if you're telling me giving up Nestor Cortez and Gleyber Torres with your three top prospects is okay to get Juan Soto, okay, whatever, I'm fine. If that's where you're at, if you look in the mirror and you're happy with that, my only thing is though, is our pitching good enough to win us in the playoffs? Because I told Trev, I know pitching wins things, but here's the other thing. If you can score more than 2 runs a game and score 5, your starting pitching becomes that much better too. It's like the Kansas City Chiefs or the Colts. Score 34 points a game. It makes your defense better because the team takes away the running game, and now they have to throw it and makes your team one-dimensional against your defense. So put pressure on their offense or on their pitching staff. Jump up 5-2 like the Astros. Every time you look, they're up 2-0, 3-0. Next thing you know, you're like, hello, wake up. The Astros just made the Yankees have the worst batting average in the series. 151 they batted against the Astros this year. Worst ever in their history as a New York Yankee, which is incredible. But every time you look at baseball, that's what makes baseball so magnificent. Every day you watch something, and it's something you might have never seen or ever heard of. That's what makes baseball special.
Joe, take it away.
Yeah, listen, I think the Yankees and Astros are extremely evenly matched. I really do think in a 7-gamer, I think the Yankees have as good a chance to win 4 as the Astros.
Got to get the home field, though.
I think it's hugely important. So, yeah, again, I think my main priority is getting Castillo or Montes or somebody. You need another guy in this rotation.
Yes.
For all the reasons you guys have already mentioned. And you know what, not for nothing, even if everybody pitches well the rest of the year and stays healthy, I still wouldn't mind having another guy. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. The only major leaguer I'm willing to give up is Gleyber Torres. I'll give you Gleyber, take my top 5 prospects. Take JP Sears or one of those guys. You're not getting Nestor, but I would take Soto. I would love to see Gleyber out of the picture so that DJ can play second. I think that's hugely important. Carpenter can back up the infield spot, so I think we're good there.
I mean, yeah, the addition of Matt Carpenter has had a tremendous impact. I just want to talk about Luis Castillo. We've been talking a lot of Soto, and I'm just saying also in that sense, if the Yankees aren't going to do it, somebody's going to go get him. He's going to get traded, and somebody is going to get that much more better. And it's not going to be a team that's in rebuild. It's a team that's going to win a championship, and they're going to get that much better, whether it's in the AL or whether it's going to be in the NL.
I just heard maybe the Padres
is going to get that much better. Yes, that's what I'm saying. A team like the Padres. Cardinals is another team. Luis Castillo, I know his record right now, 3-4, but he's got an ERA of 2.77. His last 4 games averages about 7 innings pitch, 17 hits allowed, only allowed 3 earned runs, 6 walks, and 33 Ks. Oh, yeah, and everybody wants to say, well, I don't know if he can handle New York. Well, when he went against the New York Yankees back on July 14th, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits against, remember, those New York Yankees that had the best record and the most dominant offense at the time, 1 run, 1 earned run, and 8 Ks. He had 4 walks, but still, that's a guy that can deliver ace stuff. And with the Mets having a 1-2 punch when DeGrom comes back, the Dodgers having they got a 1-2-3-4-5 punch, I guess. But and the Astros having Verlander and the other all-star pitcher too, I forgot. They have other guys too. The New York Yankees, maybe the best team of them all, have probably the most question marks in the pitching rotation, guys. Garrett Cole, who we love, who has been dominant. Last time we saw him in the postseason, guys, he got shellacked by the Boston Red Sox. Jamison Tyone, we haven't seen him deliver in the postseason. We haven't seen Nestor Cortez deliver in the postseason. Severino, we don't know if he's going to be back this year. Montgomery, we know what Montgomery could do in the postseason. He has delivered, but does he have that true, powerful stuff that can win in this game? And then Herman coming in last night. I know it's a tough start against the Astros, but how much trust do you have in him? If you can get a guy like Luis Castillo, it's going to take a lot. We get that. But if you could get a 1-2 punch of Castillo and Cole, and everybody says, well, he hasn't been to the postseason either. You just know when you got a guy. When you got a guy that has that kind of stuff, you just go with it. You got to run with it, and you got to have the confidence. And the Yankees cannot sit back this year. They cannot. If they expect to sit back, and Ted, you were saying, oh, maybe they go get a J.A. Happ. Wrong, Ted. Wrong.
I didn't say that.
You did. You did.
I did not say J.A. Happ. I said
something. Go get somebody like that. I said
no,
go get.
BS. I said because Soto. I said you said go get Soto. I said all right, but okay. I said we also need pitcher too. I go.
Well, you said go get a guy like J.A. Happ.
You're going to have no money in the bank if you want to get Castillo and Soto. You just don't have the.
Screw it.
You don't have the avenue. You don't have the pockets to do that. You just don't have the prospects.
What do you mean you don't got the Joe? You know you made that face for the same reason I did. The pockets. You're the New York Yankees
are not going to give everything up for those two guys.
Well, if you want to win a championship,
the Yankees. They're not them no more.
Listen, and they haven't won since because of that.
I think by now, dude.
You know it, and I know it. We all look in the mirror. The Yankees are not.
Do you remember when we got David Gettleman to trade back in that last draft that he had?
Yeah.
I mean, that's all the media talked about was that he wouldn't do it, and he did it.
Pitchers. We needed offensive linemen. We needed a quarterback. We needed Micah Parsons to play defense.
Hold on.
You didn't think he would trade back, and he did it. He picked the wrong guy because he sucks at picking. All right? But he did it.
Dumb fans.
Do you think by now Brian Cashman doesn't realize, and I'll be honest, for years now, this has sort of been the case. Everybody knows that Yankee prospects are overhyped. And outside of Aaron Judge, that is 100% true.
Recently, yes. In recent memory, Joe, yes. Aaron Judge
None
is
of these
the only
guys
prospect that's delivered for them.
Dude, I mean, think about other guys they've had in the minor leagues, like Andrew Brackens, Blake Rutherford. Dude, all these guys.
Remember Chance Adams?
Chance Adams, Dylan Tate. Dude, there's a million of these guys all over baseball not making any impact on the game. Brian Cashman's not stupid. Brian Cashman knows this. He's playing big-time hype. Dude, listen. Estevan Florial is balling. Dominguez, balling.
Yeah. Volpe's
Glaber's balling.
But that's also another thing,
Volpe's balling. I'm telling you. Send them all packing.
Ted, what are we saying?
Trade everyone. Trade everyone.
Ted, listen.
Buy everyone.
Listen.
But Teddy, there's no guarantee any of those guys is going to pan out to be anything. And to me, Anthony Volpe has no chance of being the next Derek Jeter because that's not even a thing.
He's going to be better, Joe. Don't you know?
Sure. How would he be? Here's my question. What would make him better than Derek Jeter?
Have more hits.
6 championships?
And win more titles.
3,600 hits? Like what? We can't even measure what Derek Jeter was by the numbers because he wasn't a great player by the numbers.
No, he wasn't.
You want Anthony Volpe? You want Anthony Volpe to be like a transcendent figure in baseball, and it's like, dude, maybe this kid hits like 240 with 20 homers. That'd be great. He can't be the next Derek Jeter
because if he was, he'd be playing in the major leagues now.
Absolutely, but again, the Mariano Rivera effect. No, of course, Aroldis Chapman's not going to lock it down like Mariano did. Clay Holmes? You kidding me? Clay Holmes?
But
who is that?
I also said this, Ted. What do we always say in the NFL? You want the proven commodity, right, over the unknown.
Of course.
That's what the Yankees have possibility.
Listen, I'm not against the Yankees going for it. I'm in a realistic mode.
But I get that. But in a realistic mode, too, we have to realize that, yes, this team is destined to be in a championship this season. But what we just saw, too, has to open our eyes and has to give us
read an article that said the Yankees because they're not giving up their top 3 prospects for Soto. It came out an hour ago.
Okay, I'm okay with not going to get so. What would you say, Joe?
Who knows that?
How does anybody know?
Who knows that? Who said that? The New York Post? The New York Post says all sorts of nonsense.
MLB Insider believes Yankees need to trade for Luis Castillo. But no, there was another thing about Soto.
That's all I'm trying to say is that when you have two guys
New York Post said Yankees refuse to do Juan Soto and Mets willing to give up. Oh, no, CBS Sports, too. Just MLB rumors. Yankees, Mets willing not to give up their top 3 prospects. And then there was other stuff that went on.
I'm just going to say, like in the NFL.
Fake news, though, Joe. Fake news. Tell them you're not going to, and then come right under the carpet and steal it from them.
You guys want and the Yankees have 2 guys that have been proven commodities already in the game of baseball. 2 of the bigger stars at their respective positions. 2 of the bigger names too. Over the unknowns. Now I know Dominguez can turn into, well, like you said, if he turns into Juan Soto and the Yankees have him, okay, we got Juan Soto. Like we have Juan Soto.
Came up too and lit it up, and now
that's what I'm trying to say is that for me as a Yankee fan and all Yankee fans, we always want the proven commodity. And everybody says, oh, the Yankees buy championships. No, that's not. I mean, the last time they did it was when they won the World Series. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this waiting, standing pat, going to get guys that are utility guys or guys that are nice pieces, but are never going to get you over that next step. You have the possibility of 2 guys, specifically one guy that can be a franchise-altering player, and you don't have to pay him right off the bat. And you can still take care of your homegrown talent. That's the most important thing that the Yankees should be figuring out.
That lineup becomes so dangerous.
Are you paying whoever he goes to, Ted? If he goes to the Mets, if he goes to the Dodgers, he goes to the Padres, the Cardinals, any team that gets Juan Soto, their lineup goes to the top of the league. It doesn't matter. Substantial impact. It goes without question.
Also, I would be all right with breaking up Judge and Stanton if Soto was between them.
Can you imagine?
Joe, I told DJ leads off. Judge bats second. Soto bats third. Stanton bats fourth. Rizzo bats fifth. You have Carpenter bats sixth. Then you squeeze in whatever you want to do with the rest of the crew because I don't really care. Trevino, IKF, Donaldson.
Donaldson's been a struggle.
My thing is this. So how do we figure this out? Soto plays.
Here's what I would do. Judge goes to center. Judge goes to center.
You got to get Carpenter in. So Carpenter, plays the left field? Judge
because he's
center,
utility. He can play anywhere. He can play anywhere.
DH?
I'm trying to answer your question.
Carpenter can't play the outfield because he is a liability. He's not an outfielder, though.
Joe, I don't think he's gonna let us give us our answer. We're gonna let him take it away. He's not.
Why can't Carpenter DH?
So you were freezing a little bit on the screen, so your mouth wasn't moving at the present time that you were talking.
Are you breaking my stones right now? Are you breaking my stones right now? Do you understand the word? I said, why can't Judge go play center field if they got Soto, and then put Soto at right field? Why, or like I was talking to Bernard earlier, why can't you put Stanton at right field? He played right field in Miami. Why can't he go to right field and then Soto go to left field? Why can't you do that?
What do you do with Hicks?
Oh my God! You just said Aaron Hicks.
Set him on fire. I don't care. What?
Go to 2022. What do we do with Aaron Hicks?
I don't care. Yeah, I don't know.
Ted, you really just brought up what do we do with Aaron Hicks?
Because
really?
The Yankees
is that a problem?
The Yankees would analytically would say Stan's got to go to DH. All right.
He can play right.
But you need Carpenter's bat in the lineup.
Of course, but he's a utility guy.
Second
you can
would
play
be
him anywhere.
DJ. Short would be IKF. Donaldson third. So the question is, Carpenter Stan, you would have to play the righty-lefty game against the pitchers. That's how you would have to play that DH.
Carpenter
game.
played shortstop
With
too.
Hicks in center, Juan in left, and Judge in right.
All right, let me tell you something. Look, here's the thing with this team. To me, the biggest thing that separates the 96 to 2000 Yankees in this group under Boone is Boone. He's not a good enough manager. Plain and simple.
But if your players don't produce,
they do produce. This team has produced every year since 2017.
That team does.
No, they definitely do. What they don't have is the guy that gets them over the top, and that's why Boone should have been moved on from years ago. This team is exceptional. They excel in every aspect of baseball right now. Don't forget, most of us had them coming in third or fourth in the division this year. So the fact that they're where they're at is really, to me, all the proof that you need that this is a tremendously talented team. More so than pitching, I think defense wins championships. And you look at that, what they've done with this defense. Again, to me, the Yankees get weak when Gleyber Torres is in the lineup.
Well, IKF
That's
leads
their
all
worst
shortstops for
team.
years.
Anytime Glaber is in the field when they're playing, that's the worst defensive version of the Yankees because, again, it generally puts LeMahieu at first or third, which is stupid. That's a waste of a really talented defender for a really crappy one.
But IKF leads the
struggling.
shortstop tied for league in errors at shortstop with 12.
Errors don't mean anything. Errors are like wins for starting pitchers.
Listen, he honestly is awful.
Do you know Derek? Do you know? Speaking of errors, do you know Derek Jeter had? Did you watch the first episode? He had 57 errors. In the.
Yeah,
and
I knew
like,
that.
what?
I knew that back in
That
the day.
doesn't even
Yeah.
make sense. He even said he's like 57 errors.
I listened to a bunch of shows, the sports shows. Michael K. IKF is an awful shortstop defensively. He's not a good shortstop at all.
That was supposed to be strong.
I watch every single game. Literally Rizzo saves his rear end every single night, multiple times.
Well, that's why you went out and got Rizzo.
Well, we knew that was a great move. We wanted that right off the bat. Didn't care. That's the type of guy you bring back. He was great for the culture. He was great for the team, and he was with. You get the lefty at bat, and he was a great. He kind of reminds you of the Tino. Tino was a great first baseman, underrated defensive first baseman, power hitter. Wasn't great average. You remember, he was always around 244 to 266, but he give you 30 to 40. I think his most was 44 in 97, 98 when he won the home run derby. That was his best season. Yeah. I think he had 32 at the All-Star break, and he finished with 44. But clutch power hitting, and that's what he's done for the Yankees. Similar type of players.
I just want to finish up right here. This is my final take. I know that we're looking at this 2-game series. Everybody's like, "Oh, they might be freaking out." No, this is before the All-Star game, the All-Star game. If we remember, luckily, look, I know that. Look, yeah, 8-8 exactly. I know that they went into the All-Star break dominating the Red Sox, but there was also a time when the Red Sox were kicking the crap out of us, and it was because of the pitching. The hitting was struggling in Boston. So this is not just only 2 games, and it just so happens that it's the Houston Astros that did it to us. No, this has kind of been brewing, and this is a time right now, especially where you have those top-tier teams right now. There's a few handful of teams that are championship or bust. The Yankees are in that conversation. You have a generational talent, a franchise-altering player at possibility being available to you in Juan Soto, and you have a guy that has number 1 ace stuff and could be a 1-2 punch with Garrett Cole in New York. Sign me up for that against DeGrom and Scherzer, because I would love to see that all the time. That's what the Yankees have right now. They have to figure out, are they going after Soto? Are they going after Castillo? And where does Aaron Judge fall in that priority list? The Yankees have a lot of decisions to make. Right now, the good thing is they're still dominating the AL East. They still have the best record in baseball. But, guys, those Houston Astros are right on the tails of the New York Yankees. Only 2.5 games back for best record in the AL, Joe.
Hey,
don't forget how much better the AL East is than the AL West is, and
of course.
The Yankees again against better teams. The Yankees have a better record against better teams than the Astros do.
Don't mute me.
So I realize head to head, the Yankees have struggled as far as the rest of baseball is concerned. Look, this is like having two great heavyweights, dude. This is Tyson and Evander Holyfield, right? This is Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. This is like number 1 and number 2.
Oh, that's always
right.
A knockout. That's like 2. Brady versus Peyton, always a knockout. I always take out.
I know people that still think Deontay Wilder's the best heavyweight in the world, and he's not. But they think that, and that's fine. And you can think that. And you know what? Yankees or Astros, those are the 2. That's the class of baseball right now.
That's the class of the AL.
Teams in the American, dude. I'll be honest. I think the Yankees and the Astros right now are a step over both the Dodgers and the Mets.
And the Braves.
Yeah, I really do. I think they're all in the 1A category. I think the Yankees and the Astros are 1. And again, I would be willing to put money on it that in a 7-game series, I think the Yankees can figure out how to win 4 games and get past this team. I'm not worried about it. The talent is all there. I tell you, too, yesterday, in particular, he got outmanaged badly. And Dusty Baker was playing a win 2 yesterday. He wasn't looking to split. They came out aggressive in game 1. They came out aggressive in game 2. Mm-hmm. Bottom line is, look, the Yankees left 17 guys on base in the second game. 17.
It's not going to cut it.
They had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. You know why? Because they're a good team.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't get the big hit. That's why I'm not worried about it. You're talking about they had a bunch of days off. They weren't supposed to even be playing yesterday, right? You the all-star break. Some guys weren't around. You had to fly to LA, then to Texas. That's a lot going on.
That doesn't make any sense. NBA gets a whole week off. MLB has 1 day off. Hey, hurry up, guys. Make sure you fly commercial too.
What do you expect?
Right, dude, it's even worse if you're in the game.
What do you expect? What do you expect?
It's
It's baseball. Baseball's behind everything in
because
sports.
of the COVID things. They had to make up the games,
and they don't care. They don't care at all about their players. Major League Baseball. That's becoming more and more obvious.
Trev, the reason why I was interrupting, as I always do, was I was scrolling through the Yankee stuff and Twitter and some other thing. I mean, you might have saw this, but it was per Andy Martino of SNY. So the Yankees are in the midst. Or you saw that?
They're in the midst of a franchise-altering. Yes. Whether it's going to be Castillo.
Didn't expect it, but now here they are. I think the Yankees are saying.
Who's more likely to be a New York Yankee? I want to finish off that quick thing. Castillo or Soto? Give me it. Bam. Who's more likely?
Soto, because he's the hot name on the he is. You listen. As much as we would both, I think all three of us would love Castillo on the Yankees roster, and we all know we need him. I think the Yankees fans and everyone else doesn't give a rat's rear end. I don't want to say anything bad to get me in trouble, and you can make me the face. I don't think the Yankee fans care. No one cares about Luis Castillo. You put Juan Soto on the Yankees, and every Yankee fan is going, we're going to the World Series, because that's the mindset that Juan Soto brings to the Yankees fans. Mindset. Doesn't mean he will, doesn't mean he won't. But I'm saying from the outside looking in, I think when Yankee fans, it's like making that big basketball trade, Trev. We made a trade for Kawhi. We are going to the ship. We are going to the ship. It's our time. Yankees get Juan Soto. Yankees fans are going, all right, we know we're in a struggle right now. This kid will blow.
Joe, who is it?
I mean, it's got to be Castillo or a pitcher. That I think that's got to be priority number one.
But you're not going to get a top pitcher, though. You know it, and we know it.
Luis Castillo is a top pitcher. I don't care what anybody says.
I'll take Frankie Montas. Listen,
this is the New York Yankees.
There's guys to now. You don't need to. You don't need to move the Richter scale. You need one more really competent starter, somebody you could call your two guy when you get to the playoffs to go along with Cole.
Until the Mets do it, and every Yankee fan is going to be bashing Cashman, going, "There's the Mets, the stepbrother again, taking our spotlight."
Okay, and then they go, and then the Mets go get Luis.
I think that puts the Mets over the top.
Okay, and then the Mets go, and they don't get so. Okay, so how's this then? How about we play it then quickly? My version, quick. So the Yankees don't get either one. The Dodgers get Juan Soto or somebody else. And Luis. Oh, don't say something stupid. Don't say another Aaron Hicks thing. My thing, and then Luis Castillo goes to the Mets, and then you have a nice 1-2-3 punch of Scherzer, Castillo as your number 3. Oh, and then you get Jacob DeGrom. Guess what? You still lose New York.
They don't need Luis Castillo, bro.
The Yankees have every reason to go all in. Every reason, and I'm telling you, I think Steinbrenner's going. He's going to want Cashman to go all in. Whatever it takes. Again, the argument about Dominguez is so dumb when all you could hope for is that by the age of 23, if Dominguez is 75% of what Soto is, we'd be celebrating it. Just go get the real deal then. If it's only going to cost you Volpe, who, again, who's the other kid? What's the other kid's name? The other shortstop? Peraza. Just bring him up then. Who cares? I don't care Volpe or Peraza. It doesn't matter. Okay? Estevan Florial, throw him in that deal. Maybe Washington will give him a friggin' shot in center. They like playing young guys.
Take Patrick Corbin then.
Well, guess what?
If you want Nestor, I'll take Patrick Corbin. I would be fine with that guy being the 5th guy in this rotation going down the stretch run. But listen, the Yankees can smell it. They've done a really good job financially of being where they want to be, to put themselves in position where when they want to go for it, they can swing it. I guarantee the Yankees will get one of those guys, or if not, a Benintendi or a Montes. Anthony Gallo, Joey Gallo, rather. Joey Gallo's done. Joey Gallo will not be with the Yankees on August 3rd. That is not going to happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if they could get anything, a bullpen swap out or something, I bet you they could move Aaron Hicks to a team like the Cardinals for a bullpen guy. Anything, dude. There's got to be a match for it. I think Cashman's at the point where he knows what he's got to do. And I think there's no way that the Yankees don't make these moves here.
They just go on a fire sale. Sell. No, but hey, these are three Yankees.
Dude, again, Sandra, we don't need another bat. Yeah, we do.
But it doesn't need to be
all these losses to the Astros. They're always in the game.
Because they can't score.
They always need a big hit late and they don't get it. It's not the pitching. It's never been the pitching. We've been hearing about the pitching since 2017, and every year it's a 3-2 loss in the wild card game. 5-4. It's always that.
He just put Castillo.
It's always that. It's always that we don't hit enough. It's not the pitching.
See, that's my thing. Here's the part that I argue with is he's from the outside looking in. He says he thinks Cole and Castillo are in the same boat as Scherzer and Buehler and Strasburg and Scherzer, and I don't agree with that. Castillo is not in the same boat as Kershaw and Buehler, and he's not in the same boat as Scherzer and Strasburg. And he's talking about a 1-2 punch. He goes, Cole and Castillo, we're going to the World Series. Don't guarantee. Sorry, I don't think Castillo's that guy that's going to bring him.
Wow,
he's
guys,
good.
I think you're a hater of Luis Castillo, bro.
He's good. He's great. But we all know this in relativity.
Oh, well, because he's not 11-0 right now with a 1 point
pitching
ERA.
for the New York Yankees, putting that uniform on and pitching in big games because he's never pitched in a big game in his life is a whole different spectrum. When the Yankees went to go win in the 90s, what did they go get? They got David Wells, big game pitcher. David Cohn, watch game one, the first series. You saw it. What did they do? They went to go get David Cohn, a big game pitcher, a guy that.
So who do you recommend?
Because the team that beat had Maddox, Smoltz, and Glavine on it.
Yeah.
And so listen, the Yankees twice beat that team without anywhere near the starting pitching that they had. You don't need to have three studs in you don't need to have Strasburg and Scherzer or Scherzer and DeGrom. You need a Cole and somebody who can give you a great start in game 2 that you're confident in.
If you guys could tell me that, then okay.
Dude, it could still end up being Jameson Tyone. We don't know this yet. We don't know this yet.
And we don't know if Nestor or Severino can give us anything. Because Nestor, I kind of have faith
That's
in
fair.
him. I feel like he can give me 5 solid in a playoff game. And I feel like if Severino is not done for the season, I feel like he can be. He can give me 5 because Joe, as much as we argue about this, it said it comes down to a bullpen game. The Yankees are not going to let anybody except for Cole pitch more than 6 innings. It's going to be give me 5 solid innings, and we'll do the bullpen crap. And we'll work our way through, and we'll worry about everything else because that's our game plan. That's the way we run our business. That's the way the Yankees have done it since Aaron Boone has been the coach. Might not agree with it, but that's the way he plays his cards close to his hand.
My last point. This is it. I'm closing shop up.
And I'm good.
Okay, good. I'm going to make sure of it. No, word count. You're getting a word count, Ted. Ted gets a specific word. He gets like 5,000 words every time. No, I'm kidding. By the way, Luis Castillo's last 3 games that he's pitched against, the Yankees, the Braves, and the Rays. Pretty good 3 teams. And he's dominated against them. Just saying. I'm done. But these are 3 passionate Yankee fans just wanting to see the New York Yankees win a damn championship. If it means to give up the house for Juan Soto or Luis Castillo, then so be it. They're the New York Yankees for a reason. Ladies and gentlemen, we are streaming on all social media platforms at Keys to the City. So follow, subscribe, check us out at Keys to the City. Everybody will be back next week talking some NFL football. And hell, we'll see what happens with Juan Soto and these rumors in the MLB. We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody have a great weekend. We are Keys to the City. We are out.
To the Keys to the City podcast.